more efficient and effective.
Citizens Assembly for the North Central region.
Yes.
How has that been so far?
Yeah, so it's been fantastic because we now have more citizens, more members of our community in the North Central region who are more concerned about governance. Before, you see people feel, oh, we are a democratically elected, country, we are practicing democracy, and the only thing they see about us practicing democracy is to just cast their vote and wait for another 4 years for them to shape the narrative. But now we are seeing citizens who are more concerned, volunteering to be a voice for their communities. Most of the reports, so we have the Citizen Assembly, which is a voluntary initiative platform where people from different communities or from different local governments in the North Central region have a place where we all meet and gather on social media, on a platform, online platform, on-ground platform, for us to discuss issues that is affecting their community. So we've been having enormous feedback. Last 2 weeks, we have submitted over 100 community reports to members of Federal Executive Council, and these reports are received from members of our Citizens Assembly across the North Central region. And it shows that they are really committed to shaping the narrative about governance and contributing their own quota to how they bring development in their community. So it's been very fantastic. We've seen impactful progress, and I've seen citizens who are now concerned about the governance structure and holding people in position of power accountable, and not just waiting for another election for them to be able to add their own quota to the development and progress of this nation. So we have seen proactive citizens who are not just sitting down waiting for something to be doing, but doing their own simple actions, simple steps to bring changes. You see citizens reporting about electricity, reporting about the road, reporting about insecurity. And when we pay much attention to those things, we improve public service efficiency, because you are seeing people on ground reporting exactly what is going on. And we are there to make sure that members of Federal Executive Council, the ministers, and everybody responsible to address some of those community concerns sees their report and prioritizes their report.
All right. Responsibility like this. Number one, people look at it as payback. Okay, you've been rewarded for being loyal to the president. It's time for us to make the best we can use. Yeah. And there are others, which I think you belong to in this group, who want to offer service. The clash of interests of these two groups, how do you manage it?
So it's when people see, for instance, there's a misconception about you having an appointment. So when committee members sees you as being on top there from the federal level, they tend to have a wrong conception about what you're supposed to do. Just like what you see in the National Assembly. Really, the National Assembly members are not supposed to be doing constituency projects, but because when they go back to their community, people are there. Is the policy I want to hear? Is the law I want to eat? We want to see road in our community. We want to see healthcare. We want to see this. And that's why you see members of National Assembly boxing themselves and fighting for how they can do constituency projects. Really, for my own personal developmental thing, I think constituency projects should be the work of a councillor who are the closest to members of the community and not actually the National Assembly. So those are the misconceptions you see. So they see, my role is not to come and share money to you, or to come and give you road, or to come and give you land, but to share your concerns about whatever federal government interventions that you have in your community. Share it with the people at the top. Let them notice our major concerns coming from the community. So you should change your perspective about who you should otherwise. But because members of the community sometimes have a wrong perception about what is expected of a political leader like I am. So making it more difficult for us. And also we also have to be very realistic. And also think about the concerns of members of the committee as well. There's a thin line between committee engagement and committee development. Sometimes I feel, it's too hard for me to go to a community actually in need of something, and I'm like, okay, within my own power, I can actually address this before even escalating into the higher level. And when you do it, sometimes people will say, okay, for instance, maybe Easterburger or something took about a project I did, like we built a toilet. But, they didn't know what came up for me doing that. We went to a community and they said one major thing they need is a toilet facility. And I said, okay, we can actually work with you, give us land, we can actually build that. We did that, and it became another issue because people don't understand where people are coming from. So that's why I don't really rely on social media when it comes to some of the work we do, because you need to be on ground to listen to people's concern. When you engage, I've engaged them. They told me their concern, and they said there's one important thing they also want to. They told me about lack of communication, which I reported to the Minister of Communication, helping telecommunication to set up a mass where they can actually have conversation and communication mass there for them to even improve their communication with their family members and everything, and which I shared. And they said one additional thing, they also, when I got to that community in Jos, it's a community that is very cold. I saw small children without cardigans and all that. Personally, for my own pocket, I had to do that. And when they told me, they needed a toilet facility, I said, okay, it's something that I can actually do personally on myself. So I did that from my own personal pocket. They tend not to really be responsive when you go the next time. That's just the reality of these our services. But as much as we also tell them, we are not a service provider, we are meant to improve services by getting your feedback to the highest level of government. And, and I'm also using this opportunity to sensitize members of the community about different roles of different political leaders in this government. It's not everybody that is meant to come and do a service delivery or come and share. Some of our own work is to monitor and evaluate what the federal government is doing. And I think we need more of that than just saying we're giving services. How do we get feedbacks from all those services that are being rendered by federal government to the top level? And that's our work as community engagement, getting those feedback to the Mr. President, saying these are the impulses coming from the community. Okay, you remove the first subsidy removal. How are people feeling those feedback? They use those feedback to actually change policies, bring out new programs. You can see the consumer cooperative loan that we're doing. Part of it is the student loan. We are putting more money on student loan because we found out that most people can't send their children to school. Those are based on the feedback we are sharing. You see, okay, we are sharing money to the vulnerable people because we've gathered their impulses. We understand what the issue are, and we are using that to address the the situation or the economic development project that we are doing at the federal level. So it's important for communities of people to appreciate. We're not all doing the same thing.
All right. Although you've mentioned a few of them, what are the common expectations, concerns that run through the communities as you go? Things that if you go to 5 communities, these are things that people will say. Do you have something like that, 3, 4, that you say these are general issues of concern to people of the North Central?
Yeah, for the North Central, one of the major things that's been coming up lately are some of the insecurity concerns that are cut across at least, let me say, 5 states of the North Central, whereby when we receive community reports from, in a weekly basis, we know that insecurity or kidnapping is one of the major issues coming out, and we are the usual intelligence they see, but when they use it to implement change. Another concern, maybe infrastructure development, and most of the concerns are not things that federal government can actually do. So I've realized that people also don't understand the division of power and responsibility of the different levels of government. They think everything that is happening in their community is the responsibility of the president, which is wrong. There are things that the state government can also do. And now with the new current administration and with our struggle in bringing the local government autonomy, I believe 70% of what we have received in community engagement will be addressed by the local government. So we see people say our road, I said, which type of road is such? So sometimes I have to write from my office to some of the lower state government. We're not expecting the different levels of work that we're doing up in their community. So once you share those, because there was a recent one that actually submitted a report to some top level government, and I included a local government chairman's phone number as a stakeholder in that committee for them to follow up. And the local government chairman said, why did you put my phone number? I said, we discussed about it. You shared your concern, and we want the people that will address the concern to be able to call you and follow up. Will you like it for her to share just anybody's phone number this before doing this for them?
Insight will return in a moment after this break. Please don't go away.
join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM. Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy.
Renewing the hopes of Nigerians for a better future through its policies, projects, and programs that are aimed towards lifting the GDP and economic growth of the nation by improving standard of living of the average Nigerian. The Renewed Hope Agenda Radio is poised to promote all of the above while enlightening Nigerians as well. Join us every Tuesday afternoon, 2 p.m. on Citizen FM Radio, 93.7, Labor House, Central Business District, Abuja. Renewed Hope Agenda Radio on 93.7 FM. The future starts today.
We believe in this nation.